Beloved brothers and sisters, yes, you've been sending down questions, and I've chosen today to answer some of them. Time has not been allowing us to answer all questions, but by and by, I'll allot periods to be answering some of your questions. And today, this moment, the question in front of me, someone asked, I want to know if going to church is necessary. Beloved brothers and sisters, that is a beautiful question. Is it necessary? Yes, this question, I want you to understand certain things. Wherever there is life, there is growth, there is change. Things don't remain the same. Life is a drama, and drama is always on the move. It's not stagnant. You see, you can have still pictures, and then you can have videos. Things are moving, you see. So, it moves in the direction of growth. And that is what we call evolution, forward going. So, certain situations, certain things go on, and only that we need to grow when those things are going on. So, going to church is part of the growth from the past. But then, when you go to church, you should still continue to grow. That is it. It's not like don't go to church. If that is where you have reached, fine. But you should grow. And you don't become fanatic. Fanatic limits himself or herself and cannot grow. These are concepts. He thinks or she thinks these things have a circle around them, and one should not grow beyond it. It's unfortunate. No one should be against going to church or going to the mosque or going to the temple, but not growing. That is what should not be, taken lightly. Otherwise, getting to that class has no meaning. If somebody moves from elementary school, or let's say kindergarten, to primary, and he thinks primary is the end of education, that is funny. He hasn't understood the whole thing. Well, sometimes wanting the child to concentrate, it is one thing at a time. So if it is primary, he has to concentrate on primary. And even if it is class 1, he has to concentrate on class 1 because he can't even understand class 2. That is why the Christ said, even I'm speaking to you about earthly things, you haven't understood. How much more celestial things? So he's not saying it is bad to listen to or be involved with the earthly things, but limiting yourself to it is the problem. And all the doctrines there make it appear as if that is all in all. And that is where the problem is. Because if that is all in all, then all the values of religion, the highest values like love, joy, peace, should be manifest when you are in the church. If it is not manifesting, you need further growth. You need to grow. You can't go to church and come and go on with litigation, fighting, jealousies, anger, fear, sadness. And then you proclaim, there is a heaven, no cry there, no sadness there, no this, no that. So you put the perfection, the reality, somewhere, and here remain with all the, excuse me to say, all the nonsense. But heaven has all the perfection. But you've forgotten that the great one, Jesus the Christ said, "Be ye perfect, even as the Father is." So, if the Father is perfect, and he is in heaven, he says, "Be ye perfect, even as the Father is." And that is your qualification to get there. Imperfection doesn't go there. How do you become perfect? And sometimes people will say, just believe, and that perfection is given you. No, he says, not those who say, Lord, Lord, but those who do. It is the doing that brings the perfection. So merely believing and saying, Lord, 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 doesn't get you there into the perfection. Now, doing what to do. Then he says, seek and you will find what to do. Beloved brothers and sisters, what brings the perfection? He wasn't allowed to bring it out. But he said one thing, that I have a lot more to tell you. That is John 16, verse 12. But you cannot bear to hear them now. But when the Spirit of truth comes, then you show you these things. So the Spirit of truth tells you, you have to go beyond, seek beyond just church going. So it's not like don't go to church. No, that is not a point. If that is where you have reached, there is inner promptings from the Spirit to go to church, because that is where you have reached. The plant reaches the flower stage, but it doesn't have to remain at the flowering state. Flower is very beautiful, and the plants can say, yes, 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 that is all I have to reach. No, it has to go on. Even if it has to drop the flowers to arrive at the fruit, in the long run, the flowers will drop. So all the beauty, church, this, that, if you have to grow beyond it, grow. Then become a fruit and leave the flowers to drop. That is it. See, he wasn't allowed to say all the things. I've come to tell you more. But remember, that doesn't make me greater than him. What it means is that ultimately everyone reaches that same place. Try to understand. If a teacher is a professor and a class, they are just class 1, and that another professor gets the university to teach, it doesn't mean the professor who teaches university is higher than the professor who is teaching primary. No. It's the class he is giving is what he is teaching. It's all the same. And we teach so that one will reach where the professor has reached. If the professor is teaching, what is the aim? He wants you to also reach professorhood. Christ was teaching so that you reach Christhood. But, beloved brother and sister, or sister who wrote this question, he wouldn't teach to show his greatness above you. He is teaching to reveal the greatness inside you. A professor teaches a class, not so that they know he's a professor, he's wonderful, he's this. No, he's teaching them so that they will also become like him. Period. So if we don't accept growth, then it's like it's an unfortunate situation. Unfortunate. This world would have been very different if people were to understand and try to grow, to reveal the love, to reveal the peace, to reveal the joy. Beloved brother or sister who wrote this question, so I'm not against going to church, but I'm against not growing. Not growing. So accept growth. Don't remain the same. If you go 100 times and you remain the same and only realize somebody great and you remain the same, that is not the reason he came. So, thank you for this question, beloved brother and sister.